Hi everyone, I'm back, and I'm gonna do a 5-minute review of The Tools of Titans by Tim Ferriss. This book is a unique book in terms of ones that I've reviewed because it actually was released very recently, like within the past few months. I want to say, I don't remember if it was out in 2016 or late 2016 or early 2017, but within the book there are references from the year 2016. That's how up to date it is. So, how do I start? This book is different from all the other books that I've reviewed. Tim Ferriss is an author. He wrote the 4-Hour Work Week, the 4-Hour Body, and the 4-Hour Chef. He is also an angel investor, and he's a podcaster. What this book is a compilation of the interviews that he did throughout, not all, but a lot of his podcasts with the various people. Each, I wouldn't call them chapters, but each like little mini section is focusing on that particular person's point of view. So, it's separated into 3 big sections: healthy, wealthy, and wisdom. Or wise. Health, wealth, and wisdom. Either way. And in the beginning of the book, he has a little section about you don't have to read this book in order. You don't even have to read the whole thing. It's up to you. You don't have to power through the book. It's like based on, it's supposed to be a reference guide of when you need a certain tidbit of information at a certain time. You just go and check, what would this person do or that person do? So how did I read it? At the time, I started on I did wealth first, then wisdom, then health, because I felt that those are most urgent priority, like what I'm lacking most, and then what I'm actually good at. I read last. After reading it, I feel my favorite section was the wisdom section. Some of the people in all of the sections he interviewed are like Tony Robbins, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Edward Norton, some authors like Neil Strauss. He wrote The Game. There's so many. There's like hundreds of them, so it's really hard to remember. There's a lot of people I never even heard of that after reading about them, I'm more interested about what they do. So what this book is, basically, like I said, is a compilation of all his interviews, like tidbits from his podcasts with the interviews, like key points that each of those people made that was relevant to the topic of his section. After reading the book, I actually started listening to his podcasts, and like I started catching the references from this book. I started catching the references in the podcasts, and I'm like, oh, and then they actually expand upon it. You don't have to listen to the podcasts to get the value from this book. What I liked the most about this book, though, was this overarching theme that everyone seemed to have. Some of them contradict each other's because they're different people and different perspectives. But what's great about this book, I think, is there's something in it for everybody. It's not everything resonated with me, but I could see different things resonating with there's something in this book for everyone. What's good for me isn't good for you, but there's something in it for everyone. But the overarching themes that I noticed is a lot of these people meditate. A lot of these people, whether they went to college or university or not, they persisted, and a lot of them are not doing conventional things. Actually, none of them. I don't think any of them. Maybe they worked in conventional jobs at one point in their lives, but none of the people in this book have conventional jobs anymore. And the same constant theme, whether they say it or not explicitly, is that if you want an exceptional life, you can't have a conventional kind of income. You can't have a conventional job. You can't be locked into some kind of, structured Monday to Friday, whatever your job structure is, but like 40 hours a week, etc. And that's the overarching theme. And he asks an interesting question that, what's the best advice you give to yourself? He asks all these people that question. Your younger self. And not, like a huge portion of them say, everything's going to be okay. That's what they would tell themselves. Or something along those lines. Keep going at it, keep trying. It's gonna work out. These problems that you're facing at that time, they're nothing, like they're small, right? And yeah, so that with me resonated the most. I know it's just hit 5 minutes now, but like to cap it off, there's various articles and exercises in the book as well that he wrote himself about. One, for example, like what's the worst that could happen if you lost all your money, something along those lines. Like thinking about that, and there's so many things. There's so many great things. What I would say is everybody needs a mentor, and now you have hundreds of them in this book, and then you can he references which podcast they're from. So it's like a endless plethora of knowledge. You don't have to physically have a mentor. Great substitute, great reference, and you can compile all the things that you like about what they have to say for yourself. And that's it. So I highly recommend this book. You don't have to read it all throughout. Like, you don't have to read it start to finish. You can go back and forth and reference it while you're reading other books or whatever. But I do recommend having this book on hand. It's great. I will see myself going back to it consistently. And I've been listening to his podcasts as well now. So that is The Tools of Titans by Tim Ferriss. Highly recommended. Please, if you enjoyed this video, please like, please comment and subscribe. Recommend some books to me, or if you do listen to his podcasts, please say which ones are the best ones, because I haven't listened to many of them yet. That's all for now. Take care, guys, and let's keep growing together.